What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lineman Life Live. First one of the week. It's Monday. Ooh, Jay Blay, what up, man?
What's going on?
Man, it was another weird week in the NFL. The second backwards weekend of the year.
Right.
Teams who you don't expect to win. Teams who you think got it sewed up, they go on losing streaks. And then you got the Jaguars. Couldn't even live with a good victory Monday before we threw it all out, losing to the Colts. But we'll get into all that soon enough here as we go through the scores from week 10 in the NFL. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the Observer Lineman Uche Nwaneri if you haven't already done so. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Now, I'm sure most of you out there in the football fan world are aware of the return of a certain man to a certain team.
I'm
back. Shaboy. And we're going to take a quick look here because he got a little something he wants to say to the world about what he is ready to do in the NFL once again.
Newton takes the snap, and he is in for a Panthers touchdown.
Cam Newton is back, everybody. Cam Newton is back in the NFL with his old team. It kind of feels right. Kind of feels like something that was just meant to be. He never looked right in the Patriots uniform to me.
Yeah, this one just kicks you
right
right
in the Panthers uniform.
Right in the warm and fuzzies.
They're warm and fuzzies. Everybody's feeling good about this. And the funny thing, for these 4-5 Carolina Panthers, they go into Arizona and they beat an 8-1 Arizona Cardinals. And the only difference between this team this week and the last 3 weeks has been two positions, quarterback and running back. And that's it. So they, the first two plays of Cam Newton's return, the first two snaps were touchdowns. So, when you look at this game and you just look at what this player clearly means to the organization itself, what does this do for the Panthers franchise from a morale standpoint? And do you think that this actually elevates the squad to being a team that's more capable of making the postseason with Cam Newton at quarterback? What you think?
Jay? If you anytime you add two MVP caliber, talented players, it's going to do something for your squad. Granted, I think we all realize neither one of these guys is getting another MVP anytime soon.
Yeah.
But, guys that have that in their DNA. And I don't know how many snaps Cam took today. Obviously, PJ Walker, I think, started the game and played the lion's share of it. But it's going to be hard to stop those two together in the red zone. You got a fucking freight train back there. And, Christian McCaffrey, if he's able to, maintain his health, that's going to be pretty scary when they get down to the scoring area. Now, whether they can – hold on, let me take a look at these. A quick peek at the standings. They might.
They're sitting on the outside
5-5,
right now,
I think you're in the mix.
They in the mix. Yeah. They
still,
in the mix.
7
they're not
games
leading
left?
the division.
Yeah, that division's, I think, all but, well, New Orleans is 1 game back. They're not winning the division, though.
But they might be able to slide into a wild card spot.
Yeah, with the way things are taking out other places. Obviously, only the winner in the East is getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in the North, too. They're looking just as bad as the East outside of Green Bay. So I'm not going to rule them out.
Yeah.
We got to see more, how much Cam can digest, to get more and more snaps, and more command of the offense, because it's, unfortunately not exactly.
It's not his offense that they're running.
It's not what he left.
Exactly.
And in fact, I think there's only, one or two players remaining from when he left.
Team in general.
Yeah. So he'll have his work cut out for him, but from all accounts, he's an extremely hard worker, and we know what kind of talent he has.
I think that energy,
that
he
too,
just brings a certain energy that changes how the team itself kind of just views itself. You know what I mean? Like, he has a certain level of confidence as a player that gives the team confidence about themselves. And I think, him and having Christian McCaffrey back there, Christian McCaffrey is huge. That actually gives you a running threat that the defense has to respect. They have to account for if he can stay healthy, which has been the issue since, since his rookie year. It's been that hamstring issue. It's been, ankle issue. It's, he hasn't been able to be available, which that does affect your value. But when he's out there, they're a much harder team to beat. Their defense isn't on the field as long.
Right.
So they get more chances on offense, and they're able to play from a position of strength on defense. And, really, it's given the Panthers more diversity as a team. I think that it kind of, in a way, you can feel a little pity for Sam Darnold, because, they looked better when they had Christian McCaffrey and he was a quarterback.
True.
Once Christian McCaffrey got hurt and things kind of became more on him, he started to struggle. And it just wasn't the same as it was for them the first few weeks of the season. But I think that this win over Arizona is big for the franchise. Having him back is big for the franchise. And I really felt like it wouldn't be it wouldn't have felt right if he just kind of was done after this year, was only with New England. He got released right after training camp. I felt like it just wouldn't be wouldn't sit right with me if Cam Newton's career ended without him being back in Carolina for some period of time. And I think that this is big, because the franchise was desperate. They needed a quarterback.
Yeah, they needed to win in the worst way. Something big had to happen. But like you said about the leadership aspect, he's already out there, leading huddles. Obviously the quarterback leads the huddle on the field, but they're making adjustments on the sideline. Everyone's gathering around him. So, he just has that charisma or magnetism, the je ne sais quoi, if you will.
Je ne sais quoi.
Just attracts motherfuckers to him. They want to listen, and you want to play for a cat like that. I was lucky enough to play with a guy like that in college. A guy that
you had Vince Young, right?
Yeah, a guy that's in the similar vein, that type of leader, where just whatever it is about him, just attracts people, makes you want to play your ass off. And generally, wherever, except last year, for the most part, wherever Cam's gone, he's had some success at least. I don't think, unless you go dig up some like Bart Starrs, or I don't even know who could have won with last year's New England squad.
Yeah.
There was no weapons. There was nothing. It was just, hey, Cam, go left, go right, throw it a couple times, and figure it out.
Yeah.
We're also not going to stop anybody.
No, you're right. You're definitely right. That is from what I've seen, he's really just been the guy who's carried the energy of that franchise the whole time. And there was something missing. Nobody cared about Carolina once he left. Nobody cared. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about him or checking on him. Even with Sam Darnold there, even with them going 3-0, I didn't care. I was
It was still just like a wait and see thing. Okay. So maybe it wasn't, Sam. Maybe it was just New York, where good quarterbacks go to die.
And speaking of that, since we're sitting here talking about it, speaking of the New York Jets and the drama that still surrounds them, even regardless of having a new coach like Saleh in there, there has been just kind of befuddlement about whether or not this franchise is, prepared to make any progress, whether their decision making is going to get them anywhere in the near future. And one of the old ball coaches for the New York Jets had a little something to say about Saleh as the head coach of the New York Jets and what he's been doing. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this clip that kind of gives you a little bit more context about what we're talking about here. But Robert Saleh he took some shots at Robert Saleh today. Rex Ryan. Let's listen to this minute-long diatribe. Part of it's going to be Rex Ryan, part of it's going to be Saleh, but this kind of gives you a little bit of information as to what's going on with them.
This guy's supposed to be a defensive guru. I heard everything, and I take it personal on this one. Everything I heard about was, well, this guy's a lot like myself, but without the bad part. Yeah, well, some of the bad part you need, because this team doesn't play with any damn heart. That's the thing that's disappointing to me. And don't ever compare this guy to me, this Robert Saleh to me, because statistically, one time they were like a top defense. All right, here's one thing they're going to be familiar with. 4 out of 5 years, the 49ers were dead last in their division. So he's going to be dead last again. So he's used to that. So to me, I'm a little pissed off about it when I hear that this guy, his background's a lot like yours. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Jets head coach Robert Saleh, your thoughts on what Rex said?
Honestly, you know what? I've never met Rex. I've never had a conversation with Rex. I don't even know him except for people who know him throughout the league. So obviously, if it's that personal for him, he knows where to find me. So
were you surprised that he said it?
I'm not surprised by him. He's always got something to say.
Whoa.
All right. Okay.
Damn.
What was old buddy last week for the Raiders? He said, hey, pull up. Pull up.
I swear to God, cuz. I kill you, cuz.
See, this is all that guy should have said. You know where to find me. I don't need the guns, all that shit. Just, you know where to find me.
I mean,
you'll be okay.
Now, when you're talking about the scores of scores from last week, the Jets got trounced by the Bills. Now, let's be real. Anybody think that the Jets were going to be able to put up a good fight against the Bills after what the Bills did last week? Losing to Jacksonville?
Oh, no,
whoever they were playing this week, if you wasn't a above 500 team, you was getting smoked.
Right. All the smoke.
He was getting smoked, and there wasn't no two ways about it. And that's what happened to the Jets. Now, again, that franchise has a lot of problems, a lot of things that are going on with it that don't appear to have any positive or upside to it in regards to this season. But Rex Ryan took that kind of personal that people compared him to Rex Ryan. But, and I played against the Rex Ryan New York Jets, and we beat them motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So, while he did have 2 years where he had a defense that was amongst the best in the league, where he had a defense that, I guess Rex Ryan was one of those coaches who kind of made it popular to blitz almost every down, to bring all out blitzes all the time. And that was his MO, you know what I mean? So he got called the guru for that. He got called the guru for just blitzing everybody all the time. But Saleh is doing, Saleh is rebuilding with the team that's not really like with the terrible team.
Yeah, the cupboard is bare. It's going to take
a few years.
That cupboard is bare.
Yeah, the cupboard is bare with cobwebs, spider webs in it. You know what I mean? And Rex Ryan had a team that had some pretty good players already in place. He had Darrelle Revis there. You know what I mean? Like, these guys were there.
Right, yeah. He had transcendent talent on that.
Yeah.
Some of the teams he had.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Funny how that works. How good coaches and good players tend to follow each other around.
Exactly. He had some heavy hitters. Nobody really expected Saleh to be able to turn this team in his first season. I don't think anybody expected the team itself to really show much improvement because he has one draft under his belt. He doesn't have really a free agent period under his belt at this point. So he's going to get full access to, an opportunity to build in his image, how he wants his Jets franchise to look. And I think you got to give him time, but to take it personal and to kind of like go after the guy, for me, I think that's kind of childish from Rex Ryan, because Rex Ryan didn't like it when people were talking shit about him. When he had a team that he had took to the AFC title game 2 years in a row and then didn't do nothing else with him the rest of the time.
Right.
They just became bums after 2 years.
Just fumbled off butts.
And fumbling off butts on Monday Night Football and shit.
And also, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think Robert Saleh made this comparison himself. So I don't see.
Yeah, of course it wasn't Robert Saleh making the comparison. It was probably
I don't see a need
right
to,
next to Rex Ryan.
Yeah, I see zero need to attack that man as if he's the one, making the comparison.
Yeah.
You can say, ridiculous. Hey, I don't see the likeness. Cool. But let it stop right there. We don't need to, disparage the man's character or anything like that. He's like, okay, we're not alike. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. He didn't say jack shit about you. And, just looking at this picture, I'm pretty sure Rex don't want to see none of that.
Oh, yeah. Let's be real. Robert Saleh put them hands on Rex Ryan in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? He'll put them. He'll put them hands on him in a heartbeat.
So he looks like
he don't want none of that.
He can still take a couple snaps.
He can still make some tackles. Look at it.
Yeah, Rex been living high off the hog for a while.
He been living high off the hog. He was already nice and hefty when he was coaching. He was a hefty motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a two-gapper.
A straight two-gap, zero nose. He lined up directly over the center. He ain't being asked to pass rush. He ain't being asked to make no plays outside. He just being asked to take up two people.
Yeah. So
you take up two people.
Saragusa right there.
You know what I mean? He's straight Saragusa. Straight Saragusa. Is Saragusa still alive, yo?
I hope so.
I hope so.
That was a funny guy.
That motherfucker Saragusa was unhealthily big. It's like, yo, he don't even got no neck no more. It's just all one big chin. But I think he lost a ton of weight after he retired, if I remember.
I think he was doing some reporting, maybe.
Yeah, because he was doing some reporting. Yeah, he was. Man, that's whoo. That's an OG right there.
Yeah, that was one of the unsung heroes of that Ravens defense.
Of that 2000 Ravens defense.
Hey,
damn right.
Ray Lewis got some love for him.
Ray Lewis was coming free because of him.
So he kept his knees.
That cat was bear hug two people and just hold him.
He kept that man in great health for a long time.
Yeah, he did. He's the reason why Ray Lewis' career went as long as it could. He gave him those extra years, extra energy, extra youth. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these scores from Week 10. Week 10 was just a very bizarre week again. You guys will see it here in a second. A lot of teams that you just don't expect to lose and just start losing now. They just kind of changing roles. Tonight we got Rams and 49ers. That's going to be an interesting game to see. Cooper Kupp's already over 1,000 yards receiving. That's pretty damn good.
Oh my.
That's pretty damn good. I guess he's on pace for like a 1,700 yard season.
Potentially. 10 touchdowns. 1,700 yards and 10 touchdowns. I can't imagine many people have done that.
Now, another big story that many people obviously know about, OBJ signing with the Rams. I think he's making a debut tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
I think
they had an injury in the receiving core also.
Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is
no,
correct?
Robert Woods.
My bad. Robert Woods. Why did I say Brandon Cooks?
He was there. He was there recently. But yeah, the day I think Odell signed,
The day Odell signed,
here's his
yeah.
ACL in practice,
Mm.
which
That's like that's foreboding, isn't it? That's like dun, 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 dun. That's some old fucking what's the movie? The young kid who's the spawn of Satan?
oh, shit.
Damien.
Yeah. You
That's the Damien movie with the 666 on his skull.
You might need to check OBJ's check his locker
You know
for
what I mean?
voodoo doll or something, man.
Might want to look right below the edge of his top half of his cranium and make sure he doesn't have a 666 dialed in there.
He might have put a root on him or something. He's from New Orleans.
For real. Because as soon as he lands, like the moment he landed in LA, our boy tore his ACL. Snap, as soon as he landed. He didn't even know it. So they've got injuries now. So
yeah, so he'll probably be playing tonight.
But I think I think overall, I feel like OBJ's situation. I feel like the way he is as a player, the way he is as a wide receiver, I don't see this ending well. I think that this is. I mean, honestly, I feel like having Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver was a better. I feel like that was more significant for the Rams than having OBJ, because on the one side, he's a great athlete, great receiver, but he's also coming off an ACL tear.
Right.
You don't expect his production to be as high as it was. Really, has he had great production since he was in New York? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's been fair, but nothing
but not the superstar level production we were seeing in New York.
But also, I'm not sure. I mean, the jury's out on Baker.
Yeah, the jury is still out on Baker Mayfield, but he
hasn't had an elite quarterback since probably early on, and even Eli was kind of
out of his prime.
Yeah, so this will probably be the best quarterback he's had since maybe his rookie year. So I mean, if anyone can spread the ball around and get him some open looks to get some some yak yards after catch, not cognac, but who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I think the system could work out for him. I mean, he's not the same.
The system I think the system works for him if he humbles himself a little bit.
Yeah,
and isn't the guy who expects the ball to be thrown to him every time, whether he's open or not. I mean, even if you're open, you're not going to get the ball sometimes. Because the quarterback may not be designed to get the ball. It may not be designed for you to get the ball first.
Exactly.
Or he might be under pressure and he ain't got no time to pivot to look at you. You know what I mean? You don't know. So
because it looks like Cooper gonna get 12 looks a game.
He is going to get his 10 to 12. Like that's just going to happen.
But now
look at his stats, he deserves it.
Yeah. Now that Robert Woods is out, I mean, maybe he can pick up some of that slack eventually. I mean, it'll be hard to have that connection with Stafford instantly, but they could work their way up to it. I mean, Stafford has, worked with good receiving cores before and spread the ball around pretty well. I don't think that'll be a problem. As soon as he gets some timing under his belt, they could. This could work, but I don't think it's going to be 100 receptions by any means.
Yeah. Schematically, I think it can be a really good connection, right, with the Rams. But it's going to boil down to, at the end of the day, and I think it's like this with every place that Odell Beckham Jr. will go. It will boil down to his attitude, whether or not he is going to become disgruntled when things aren't going his way. Because now we've seen two teams, the only two teams he's been on. When things didn't go his way, he became disgruntled, and then he's gone. So it'll be up to him to know whether or not he's going to be able to. He'll be the deciding factor in whether or not the Rams will be a successful stop for him. But we got a $5 super chat here. Jason Gaines. Jason, what's up, man? He says, Justin, do you remember in 2014 at Vikings when two right tackles got hurt and starting tight end Levine Toilolo had to finish the game at right tackle?
Oh, yeah. That's every team's nightmare right there. No disrespect to Levine by any means. But, I mean, he's a 6'8", 250 guy trying to play tackle. We're just trying to get through the end of the game. No,
we need you for 2 minutes. Like,
yeah, we're not doing anything outrageous here. Hey, zone left, zone right. That's all. We're gonna keep it simple. But fortunately, I think that was the only time in my career we ever got down to using tight ends. I could barely remember times where guys even had to switch positions mid-game. A couple times, I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that we had to like shuffle, line mid-game. But these things happen. I mean, that's why now
it does happen.
Now you get 8, if I'm not mistaken.
You get 5 starters and 3 swing. Yeah,
we used to carry 7 a lot. We were rolling though.
Some games we would carry 7 if we needed an extra receiver, or if we needed an extra tight end or something like that. We carry 7. I think my first game, my second year, we played against Tennessee. We had so many injuries that game that that was my first time. I came in on the second play of the game there, so technically it wasn't a start, but it was a start.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But our starting right guard, starting left guard, and then me had got hurt that game. Whew. So I had to go back in the second half.
Right.
That's when the doc came around the bench and slid me a couple of orange pills. Like, take these.
Take 2 of these. Call me later.
Take these 2, right? He did it like a drug deal. He had his hand behind his back like, here, take these. They're behind my back. Take them. Take them.
What's in this, sir? Don't
ask. So you don't have to lie if they ask you.
It doesn't matter what's in these.
So if I wasn't able to go, they would have had to put a tight end in at tackle and move the tackle to guard.
Right.
So, it happens.
Yeah, that's a hey, we're just gonna get to the end of the game. We're not trying to.
Yeah.
At that point, you're barely even trying to win the game. You're just
we don't even care about winning anymore.
We just gotta get the next week.
Blindsided.
Yeah, we just gotta get the next week. Fortunately, we had like a pretty consistent lineup. I think 3 or 4 years at one point. We all played 16 games at that point. So, it says he actually did a decent job blocking. But he was a good blocking tight end. So it would stand the reason that he could run some zone. I wouldn't do a 2-minute drill.
And a tight end that can block is like, that's not heard of like all that much. I mean, it's heard of, but it's not as common as you'd like if you're a coach.
Yeah,
like these motherfuckers don't want to block.
Yeah, if you find one that's willing, keep them.
Yeah, if you find one that can,
take
advantage.
Willing and able.
You know what I mean? Next game up here, Ravens at Dolphins. Ravens at Dolphins. Didn't expect this game to turn out like this. This was the first indicator that it was going to be another weird week in the NFL when on Thursday night the Ravens lose to the Dolphins. Dolphins are 3-7 now. They beat them 22-10. I'm not really sure how I can explain that this happened. Other than
the stat line doesn't look that crazy.
It's not really
expected to see like 2 or 3 picks from Lamar Jackson or something out of the ordinary. But looking at
Jacoby Brissett got hurt, if I'm not mistaken.
You are right. So Tua came in and
Tua came back in. He was already hurt, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, they were kind of slow playing his return, and this, clearly fast played it.
Yeah, they fast played it. Next up, Cowboys. I mean, like you know what I mean? Like whoever was next up was getting it.
Yeah,
that's what we know. After what happened to them last week, whoever was next up was getting that business, and it just happened to be the Falcons.
Whew.
And they blew
shocked me. Like
even
the defense, was playing pretty well. I mean, obviously, anytime you get, for all intents and purposes, a shutout. I mean,
pretty much. That's what it was.
If you get less than a touchdown in a game, I mean, you're really doing something nowadays. And
Yeah, if you can't score a touchdown in the NFL in a single game, then that's pretty bad. But
I think Atlanta had put a string of fairly impressive games together. I
yeah,
think beat New Orleans maybe, and someone else,
they
or
beat New
played someone else.
Orleans.
Played someone else close, I think,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. So
They climbed back to being 500 because they were like 1-4 or something like that.
Yeah, I think they had started off really, really rocky, and then we're starting to put some things together.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it looked like I don't think anybody expected these guys to be like playoff contenders necessarily, but respectable as they go into the second half of the season. But this isn't a huge surprise of a score to me, just because of the nature of the Cowboys more than the nature of the Falcons. The Cowboys got embarrassed last week, and it would not do well if they could not show that they're capable of bouncing back. They bounce back in a big way. They get that win 43-3. Second quarter being really the
what happened there?
Completely weird look. Let's see.
I mean, was there a block kick or something? It's difficult to score 4 times in a quarter.
Yeah, let's take a look at the second quarter.
Like I can't even do that on Madden.
1 yard run, 1 yard run, 2 yard run, 9 yard pass.
Oh, block punt.
And a block punt. I mean, how many I wonder how long those drives were. Oh, okay, here we go. 12 plays, 8 plays, 10 plays. Okay, so outside of the block punt, those were pretty solid drives that got put together. 10 play, 20, 22, 30 plays. 30 plays they scored.
Wow.
3 touchdowns. So
But that's what that offense is built for.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do that. And
yeah, they're supposed to, really.
I don't think the Falcons' defense has been super strong this year by any means. So
Falcons' defense hadn't been strong in a while.
They're supposed to go do this to people. If you're not a top 10 defense, a team like the Cowboys, what they have put together on offense is supposed to do this. And and this is without Tyron Smith. I'm pretty sure he didn't play.
Yeah. Tyron Smith is hurt. He's not playing.
Other than that, I think the full complement on offense, other than him.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys they're set up. They're set up right now. We'll see how it goes though. As we move forward.
It's going to come down to defense. Are they going to pitch 3-point games for the rest of the year? Not a chance in hell. So that's what it's going to come down to, is how much can they possess the ball, and can they, hold people to under 25, maybe.
Yeah, because they can put up 30 every game easily.
Yep.
All right, next up, Saints at Titans. Saints lose to the Titans by 2. Titans, Titans have not lost a step. They haven't lost a step. Even with losing Derrick Henry, they still have been able to manage to win 2 games now without him. And they now have an 8-2 record. They're tied for the best record in the NFL right now.
Just like we keep talking about, if you run the damn ball,
you
give yourself a chance.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep it close till the end of the game. And, they have a quarterback that can run as well, even though he traditionally or historically he hasn't been, he's by no means Lamar Jackson, but he's a serviceable runner. And they're taking some of the things he can do, trying to get to the play action game.
Yeah. Yeah, the Titans have stuck to the formula of who they are. They haven't changed how they approach these games just because they've lost Derrick Henry. They're still running the ball. Mm-hmm. They're still going play action over the top. They're still rolling out with their play action. Tannehill is proven to be the ultimate game manager for them, and he puts points on the boards for him too. He does a decent job at getting the ball in the end zone. Now, on the Saints end, they played a decent game. I mean, it wasn't a bad game by them. Looking at some of the highlights, and Simeon is still playing a solid. He's still playing solid. He might be their guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
19 for 34, 298, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean,
You can win with that. You can
you
win
can
with
win
that.
with that.
Him and Jameis will have a healthy competition.
Oh, you know, it
next
might
year.
not even be. They might.
Well, they might part ways.
They might part ways. What did they give in chat? You can tell me if you guys know this. Did they give Jameis Winston any kind of solid extension, like a 3 or 4 year? Maybe not a max extension per se, but kind of a hey, here's like a 2-year deal. So while we continue to evaluate you.
Or is it
You know
just
what I
like
mean?
a token deal that they can get?
Or is he just sitting with a 1-year deal again? Because I know he got a 1-year deal last year.
Right. Yeah,
So
I'm not sure what kind of position they're in there.
But when you guys, if anybody finds that out, put it in the chat and we'll talk about, or we'll at least acknowledge it. Next game up here, Jags Colts.
What more can you say?
Goddamn Jaguars. God damn it. You got a chance to win the game. You got everything you want. You got a chance to win it at the end. Trevor.
I mean, I didn't see this one.
Let me see if I can find the freaking play.
I didn't see this one, but I will say Jonathan Taylor's having a hell of a year. Probably the best remaining running back in the NFL. If Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones are both hurt.
This is the new logo of the Jaguars. Just so you guys know. This is the new logo. New logo, guys.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
I will be stealing that.
That is good.
I will be stealing that. Yeah, it was another good defensive showing from the Jags. I mean, it was not, the offense appears to just be completely devoid of anything regarding anything that even resembles a good wide receiver. The wide receiver game for them has not been good. And at present time, Jamal Agnew is the best receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is the one playmaker that they actually have on the team, and he's really a special teams guy. So, they are going to be looking for a new receiving. I mean, they have to draft. They have to sign free agent receivers. That has to be the move for them, or it's just going to be a very, very difficult, coming era for Urban Meyer, because this is beyond ridiculous. They could not get anything going in terms of offense. When you look at the stats here, and we'll take a look, just for my own misery. Oh wait, I hit the wrong game. Damn it! Fuck out my way. Take a look at Trevor Lawrence here. 16 for 35, 162 yards. How you throw the ball 35 times and you only got 162 yards? 59.5 quarterback rating. Carson Wentz, who threw it
not much
one
different.
time. I mean, he's also a bum as well. How did they score touchdowns this game? Who scored the touchdown?
Running backs scored everything.
The running back scored the touch. Well, wait, they only got one touchdown here from the running back. We got two over here from the Jags.
Defensive touchdown, maybe?
Okay, Mike, it's all you now. Divert the asteroid.
Oh, my God, get out of here. Let me see. I don't know. Fumbles, 2. There you go.
Okay, that'll do it.
2 fumbles. That's probably what it boiled down to. These right here. Well, 1 loss. So that might have been a touchdown plus a touchdown, but you still need another one. How do they score this?
What is the difference between QBR and the rating? because they have similar
rating,
QBRs, but their ratings are pretty different. I mean, maybe it includes. I mean, obviously, it includes another stat that.
Well, he's got
just
one
made up a
pass
different
less,
stat.
but he's got 6 more completions. That might be the difference.
Okay.
But I mean, it's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, we know that he's not like, he can throw. He's streaky. He plays well one game, he plays terrible the next. But Trevor Lawrence, rookie quarterback, you expect him to get better. He will. And
probably get some linemen.
It kind of came down to him at the end of the game. He fumbles the ball when he is, they've got about a minute and some change left, 2 minutes left in the game. And, he's dropping back and he gets rushed. He gets rushed and he ends up scrambling forward. Now he's picking up yards. But as he's picking up those yards, a defender from behind hits the arm. As he begins to go to cover it up, that arm he uses to cover it up gets hit by the defender on his back, so it knocks his arm down. Okay. And then the next man comes in and smacks the ball out of his arm, and it's a turnover. So, ends up going against the Jaguars, but easily could have been a game where we see Trevor Lawrence making his first game-winning drive.
Right. I can't fault the guy too much for trying to make a play in that situation.
I couldn't get mad at him for that. He was trying to make a play. He didn't have anything to go to down the field, and that's how that ended up for the Jaguars. Now, Colts, they're 5-5. They're back at 500. I don't really give a fuck. Fuck the Colts. They know that. They know I don't like them. Fuck the Colts. And Ryan Moody, if you got a problem with it, you come holler at me. You know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Nah. But so that this is a rebuilding year for the Jaguars. We're still trying to find out if Urban Meyer's the guy for this franchise. I don't think he is, but it may take another season for the Jaguars to figure that out. So we'll see as that.
Does he have personnel control?
Yes, he does. Yes.
Okay.
He's got control of everything.
Well, obviously, if fucking Tim Tebow was there. Yeah.
Yeah. But, the Jaguars will try to kind of regain some form again. It's going to really boil down to their offense needing to score points in order for them to be able to find some consistency. But moving to the next game here, Browns going to New England and get their asses handed to them 45-7.
That's right.
I think Mac Jones might be the guy.
Yeah.
Disguised as the dude. Playing another dude because now he is looking like the answer to the question, who will come after Tom Brady? And, I think this may potentially put back in the spotlight that question we all had about who was really responsible for these New England dynasties. Was it really Tom or was it actually Bill? And I feel like it was a little bit of both, but people are willing to pick their sides on that. And Mac Jones is, he's kind of fitting that role pretty well. He throws for 3 touchdowns. They run for 100 yards and get 2 touchdowns on the ground. So it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for the Patriots moving forward. And as much as everyone was looking forward to the time when they would no longer have Tom Brady to be a top, what was it, the AFC East? The AFC East? He's back.
2.0 right here.
1 year off. And now he's pretty much back at the top of the division.
I mean, look at that stat line. That's, extremely efficient.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Kind of like a younger Tom before he became what he ultimately, is regarded as now.
Before he became the guy who just knew how to win big games all the time.
Yeah, because when he was coming up, he was, kind of the traditional game manager. Don't fuck it up. Just keep it close. And, he's always been super clutch, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was able to pull something off at the end, had a Hall of Fame kicker as well. So that won them a lot of games. Just
Jerry,
keeping them close into the fourth quarter. So, this guy he could very well be in that same vein.
And it looks like we're just going to have to sit back and fucking enjoy this shit again. So get ready, people. Patriots are about to become another fucking dynasty. Ain't nothing we can do about it.
Well, they finally got some competition in the division now, at least.
Yeah. The Bills
all those years Tom was
least.
doing it, the fucking AFC East was the seller. So, I mean, you pretty much were getting the playoffs every year, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. But now moving on, because this game is one I don't give a fuck about the Patriots. I don't talk about them that long. But now again, we're looking at another team that had to bounce back.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit earlier about the situation between Rex Ryan and Robert Saleh. But the Bills demolished the Jets 45-17. I think that this is kind of to be expected just because of, again, last week they lost to a team they shouldn't have lost to. It was a trap game and they got trapped.
Yeah.
They had to bounce back. This is the bounce back game. And they bounced back well. Josh Allen has a good game, 21 for 28. They get touchdowns all around, and the Jets are left with their heads spinning again. Robert Saleh, I don't get mad at him for this kind of situation because they've got a lot of things they got to figure out. I don't think that let me see here. I don't think, they're dealing with Mike White. Mike White at quarterback. He threw 4 interceptions. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay, so looks like Joe Flacco came in and finished the game off pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad must he be looking in practice? I take that back because Mike White did play really, really well. I think the last week or two, whatever he was thrown in there.
Yeah, Mike White was playing well until he came up against a team with.
At some point, you realize who you are.
Yeah, like let's not we
realize what you are.
They are who we thought they were. If you want to crown them, to crown their ass.
Yeah, that stereotype could only last so long.
He came off that high and
the clock struck midnight.
The flats, 50%, 251 yards, 4 interceptions. I mean, you got a 33 rating, 27 QBR. Like we saw this coming. We just didn't know when it was going to come.
Yeah, that carriage turned into a pumpkin.
Jury has reached a verdict. Presiding juror.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I want to hear right now.
A little update for those of you who give a damn. We got the Rams and the Niners. 5:07 left in the first. The score is 0-0. We're moving on from the Bills and the Jets. Let's take a look here at these Lions. Lions and Steelers tied 16. I don't know how this happened.
They didn't lose.
They didn't lose, but they effectively broke their losing streak. They will not go down as a winless team, regardless of if they win another game or not. They won't go down as a winless team. They get the tie, 16-16 with the Steelers. The Steelers had Rudolph was at quarterback. Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph didn't do terrible. 30 for 50, 242 and a touchdown. But at the end of the day, Steelers didn't do enough to win. They tie this game. And I mean, how do you feel if you're Detroit's head coach, Dan Campbell? Because this is kind of like, yeah, we didn't lose. But we damn sure didn't win either. So still feels like a terrible season.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm not too thrilled. Either way for him.
Like a tie is such a weird thing to talk about because there's effectively no outcome.
Right. It's like we didn't
no true outcome to the game.
Like, did the game really happen? Like the tree that falls in the woods and no one's around.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who knows? But Steelers look like they're picking up the pieces of their season. Mike Tomlin doesn't have fucking losing seasons.
Mike Tomlin has done well in his time with Pittsburgh, and I don't think anybody's thinking to get rid of him I would be foolhardy, I think, anyways, just because, if you look at the history of the Steelers, they stick with their coaches, and they've only had 3 head coaches in their entire team's history, I believe. 3 or 4 head coaches.
69 is, I think, the stat they usually go with. It was Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and then Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, they've had 3 head coaches in their entire tenure as an NFL team. That's like what? That's like ridiculous.
Most people are switching in and out every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
if you can get that long, shit. So good on him.
Ooh, Najee Harris only got 4 carries.
Where's the tip of this?
That's receptions. My bad. That's receptions.
Oh, okay. I wonder if
he got okay. He had 25, 26.
That's more like
there you go. That makes sense. That's what we like to see. This kid is a horse. I like him.
Although
I like him.
I am quite concerned when I see Mason Rudolph 50 attempts.
Yeah, 50 passing attempts. Yeah, that's a schematic issue, I think. Like, why is this guy passing the ball 20 times when you're just trying to when you ended up tying? It's not like you were getting blown out.
Yeah, that's
weird because he threw it 50 times and he ran it 26 times.
It's a lot of plays. 75 plays just right there.
That's 76 plays.
5 other carries. So that's 80 plays in the game, and you only managed 16 points.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
I'm
pretty bad, Steelers. I mean, you didn't lose this game, Pittsburgh, but you damn sure didn't win. Like, you damn sure didn't look like a Pittsburgh team that your fans probably expect. And I don't think that's anything that that's going to change. Moving forward in the season, they have to fill in some gaps, and one of the biggest gaps they got to fill for me outside of their offensive line is literally their quarterback position, because Big Ben is over the hill. We all know that he can't throw the ball like he used to. Not the same quarterback. But that is a position that they need to fill in. They need to get ready to replace. And I don't think that they have a bench of quarterbacks that can actually do that. I think that it's going to come down to getting that first draft pick that they have and drafting a quarterback next year so that they can mold that quarterback in the image that they want him to be moving forward. These guys aren't going to get it done. We know that. We know that.
That's not the answer right there.
But that game ends up in a tie. 16-16, Lions, Steelers. Next game up, Buccaneers at Washington football team, surprisingly, with Heineke come away with the 29-19 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs are 6-3 now. And let's see. Tom Brady, 23 for 34, 220, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Wasn't a good game for Tom Brady. Leonard Fournette had 47 rushing, no touchdowns in the rushing column. But let's see how much he didn't even get sacked. So it's not like the defense, this is weird. Another weird game. He didn't even, he threw the 2 picks, but he didn't get sacked.
Chase Young gets hurt in this game. He's out for the year now.
Yeah, Chase Young gets hurt, yes. But even before that, they weren't.
I don't know if they were, clearly they weren't.
He wasn't exactly
pressure.
Producing, you know what I mean? He wasn't producing in the same way that he did last year for sure. But this Bucs team, all of a sudden, they look a little shaky now as we are moving forward into the second half of the season. Washington, they're not really in this for much of anything at the moment. So, that was their Super Bowl right there.
Fucking up the draft pick now.
Now that it's fucking up draft picks.
I do think Tampa has a lot of injuries, if I'm not mistaken. I still think their secondary is pretty banged up, and
are they?
I believe that was the case a few weeks. The last primetime game they had, I remember them talking a lot about bringing up guys off the street and all that kind of shit. But then also, I think Godwin just came back.
Yeah,
maybe they're down a tight end or two. Obviously Gronk's been out for a while, but he wasn't, old Gronk. He's not.
He's not.
He's a red zone
Yeah.
Gronk.
Yeah.
Still a monster down there, though.
Oh, yeah, he's still making plays down there left and right. But, I think this is more an anomaly than anything for them.
Yeah, we just got to see what they do next week. I mean, it's just like
we gotta see what they do next week.
These other couple teams that have lost games that we didn't think they was going to. How do you bounce back?
Mm-hmm.
So whoever Tampa has next week, look out.
Exactly. The next week's team is going to get the brakes beat off them by Tampa Bay. Just so you know, you're gonna get your brakes beat off. But moving on, next game here: Panthers at Cardinals. We talked about this earlier as well. Cardinals without
Tyler Murray,
Tyler Murray, and the Panthers having PJ Walker as a starter. Didn't have great stats, but they did have Christian McCaffrey, who touched near 100 yards rushing on 13 carries and 66 yards receiving, proving that he is the production monster of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
But also you had Cam Newton in there who pitched in with his 2 plays for 2 touchdowns. And we'll clearly be seeing more of him as this season progresses, because it's probably the best move that this franchise can make right now, and keeping him out there for, his familiarity with guys like Christian McCaffrey. So there will be chemistry to work with there, as well as their receivers, and just team in general will probably respond much better to him being out there.
The team came out and said they're operating as if Sam Darnold is out for the year. So even if he comes back,
they just threw this motherfucker right under the bus.
Hey, I'm good. I can go.
I'm not thinking. The doctor says I'm 100% go. 100% go. Yeah. Sit your ass down. Cam, get in there. So could be a brewing situation there for Cam and Sam Darnold. But Panthers get the big win over the Cardinals 34-10. Then another surprising game that I didn't think that this score would come out the way it did. Vikings beat the Chargers 27-20. Chargers have now dropped like 3 out of their last 4, I believe it is.
Something like that.
And it's not. It hasn't been. They've been close. Some of them been close, but this is just not what I expected. Kirk Cousins had a good game, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 24 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Jefferson, he had 9 receptions, 143 yards. These guys had a good game. They did. They played a good game, and I don't really want to go into the details of this, just because it's a bad loss for these Chargers. These guys, they were riding high, and they have a good team. I think they have a good team. So kind of expect it to be a little bit more competitive, or a little bit more in way of consistent wins, since they showed that they can beat really good teams.
Right.
Should
be doing a lot more there.
Should definitely be doing more there.
Didn't see this one. But, I mean, the way we were regarding Justin Herbert early in the season,
mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to lose this one. And 3 out of 4, bad teams or good teams don't do that. And, they were on paper, paper tiger here, they looked like they're supposed to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Might be them paper champs. We got a $5 super chat here from Jason Gaines with another $5. Appreciate you, man. He says, great to see Brady lose to WFT. Where are you, D-Day Cobra, RK Outpost, The Greg, and Tugs? It's a very quiet day for the 4 Brady deflators. Hashtag bandwagoners. Now, you might not know about how this is, what the context is for this, Justin, but he's talking about some other online personalities that I've done some work with who love Tom Brady, and they know that I hate Tom Brady. And anytime Tom Brady wins, you hear about it from these motherfuckers. They talk all this shit. They ain't even a team fan. They just a Tom Brady.
Just like Tom Brady. Don't even matter where he's at.
Doesn't matter where he is. They got the jerseys for all these different teams. It's like, bitch, you're supposed to be a team fan, not a player fan. And, now when Tom Brady gets embarrassed, nobody says a damn word. They're nowhere to be found.
Crickets.
They are who we thought they were. All right, moving on. Eagles come away with a 30-13 win over the Broncos at Denver. That's a surprise. Again, very weird. These teams that, haven't shown that they're that good coming out, getting a win. It's
this one's just
two teams that really aren't going anywhere fast. But Eagles get that win and move on to 4-6. Next up, you got Seahawks. Now, this one did surprise me.
This was tough to watch.
The Green Bay Packers dominated the Seattle Seahawks. They dominated these cats from front to back.
Yep.
Front, back, side to side.
This was not
Never
pretty.
let hoe ass niggas ride.
Yes.
And that's what they did. They didn't let these cats score a damn point. Goose egg. Woo!
And granted, it did take a while for Russ to get. Well, I'm not even sure he got in fucking rhythm, because even by the end of the game, they were still struggling.
If they
same,
got
same old shit he always does.
Field goal range.
Have early pressure. He fucking runs around, does a cartwheel, and stands on his head and throws the fucking ball 50 yards.
Well, hold on though. Him and Aaron Rodgers looked like doo-doo this game.
Oh yeah, he wasn't much better. Probably had that horse shit.
It was 3-0 until the fourth quarter. Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, it was not pretty.
It wasn't.
I think Aaron Jones went down middle-ish of the game. And, AJ Dillon had to pick up the slack. He did some good things in some short yardage situations, but yeah, this game was not pretty. I don't think a receiver for the Seahawks had a reception maybe until almost halftime.
Whoa!
It was really dink and dunk.
Yeah.
They were making long attempts, I should say. I'm sorry, but they weren't. It wasn't your usual Seahawks game.
They were not.
Okay, Mike, it's all you now.
Oh my God!
Off his path. Where's Mike?
There was no rhythm there. There was no rhythm there, basically, at all.
Not pretty.
Aaron Rodgers didn't look good. He had a 75 QB rating, 29 QBR, 13 QBR for Russell, 39 rating. There wasn't really anything going on at any position anywhere except for this position with AJ Dillon, who was still only averaging 3 yards a carry. So really, he wasn't doing shit either. 21 carries, 66 yards. He just got a lot of volume, and he probably got the ball, close to the goal line.
Yes. They weren't like long touchdown scampers. It was just run a motherfucker over the goal line, and here we are. 3
yards a carry is not efficient at all as far as running game goes.
I do believe that Chris Carson's close to returning. So too little, too late for the Seahawks, probably. But
they're too late.
Maybe they can spoil a couple other folks' seasons if he's back and they're able to get something going on the ground and open up the play action, get some more deep balls like they're accustomed to. Who knows?
Now, there's someone that we got to talk about. We can't ignore it. DK Metcalf. I got to say, I'm starting to change my opinion about this guy. I don't think he's very much you talk about fair weather guys who are all about the team, all about good chemistry, all about working together for the greater good of the team when it's going well for them. When it's not going well for them, these guys become detractors of their own team. They become distractors to their own team. And for the second time this season, first time being a little spat that he got in with Shannon Sharp online after he had just the night before cost his team the game. Or no, did he cost them the game? He did cost them the game, didn't he? The game where he fumbled it when he should have just got the hell out of bounds?
Right. I think he blew out an opportunity to get to a field goal or something. Maybe I can't remember if they were able to overcome it or not, but yeah, that was.
I can't remember if they won that game, but that was a pretty selfish thing he did. He got called out on it by a Hall of Famer, and he tried to claw back at him, and he looked silly doing it because it's like, what are you talking about? He's 100% correct. And if there's anybody who's going to say it to you, it should be a person who has experience in the field, and that's who did it. A guy who has experience and a reputation that is beyond dispute. Or there's nothing you can say about Shannon Sharpe that will stain what greatness he had as a player. Now, DK Metcalf, on the other hand, has shown time and time again that he's not a team guy. And yesterday was no different. He got no catch. He got no receptions. Had no receptions at that point. And maybe not at that point, but he had no receptions. And then by the time he got receptions, it became, these were receptions that were pretty much
some empty calories.
Empty calories. And he decides, I'm going to get in a fight on the field, and I'm going to get ejected. And then once they eject me, I'm going to act like I ain't hear that they said I was ejected. And I'm going to get back in the huddle the very next play. And they ain't going to see me. They're not going to see me. And of course, he got caught.
It's the biggest
now,
human.
If I can pull a video up on this real quick, I'll show y'all. But this dude is a clown. This dude is a clown. I mean, I can't understand this shit. Let's take a look at the sequence of events as they transpired. So, this is the actual event itself. This dummy now look at him. Watch him. Like, what kind of ignorant ass dumb shit is this? Look at this dude. Just if you talk, but then don't be like, look at him. Now he grabs somebody else's shit. Like, what?
Oh, while we're being shut out.
Yeah, while we're getting our ass kicked, I'm gonna just make a spectacle here.
I mean, I guess on the positive side, he didn't punch him.
Technically, I mean, yeah.
But I mean, I think he did. Oh, he did. We call it big face.
Now look at this guy. He was about to give him work too. Boom. You see that?
He definitely mushed the guy. Yeah.
Now, let's look at the. This is awkward.
This is funny.
Like, yeah. We just told you were fucking ejected, bro.
You're out.
Oh, me? That's on me?
He's like, what? He's like, what?
Some
What you
guys might
mean?
be able to kind of sneak in, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you're the tallest receiver.
Look at the coach. He's like,
I told you.
bro, they said you were ejected. Why'd you jog back out there?
Oh,
This is a guy who don't give a damn about his team. They could have easily flagged the team for that again.
I'm kind of surprised nothing happened to the team on this one. I mean, I have no idea what the rules say about this because usually people just stay the fuck out when this happens. Yeah. But it reminds me of what was the fucking manager for the Mets? Maybe Terry Valentine. He got ejected from the game. He came back with like a fucking it was like a Groucho Marx mask on or some shit. I mean, baseball kind of lighthearted. But
they're like, yeah, we know it's you.
He was just having fun with the whole ordeal, and it's nothing for baseball managers to get kicked out. In fact, I think it's strategic. Usually, this was just dumb.
I do this, my guys are gonna get. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna get excited off of that.
Yeah, this is just dumb.
This guy's
not thinking
dumb.
about the team. Granted, I'm pretty sure the game was out of hand at this point.
Yeah, there was about a minute left in the game, but
nothing was going to happen.
Man,
but still,
you're just creating another distraction for us that we don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's more shit to talk about that I don't want to fucking deal with. Probably going to be getting fined.
Oh, absolutely. He's looking at it. I think they're going to fine him probably a good 30 for that.
Especially as a repeat offender for doing that.
This ain't your first rodeo, son.
Yeah.
But the Packers end up, crushing, and they scored the last 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but it was a defensive slugfest for the most part. But this was not, a goose egg is not what I think anyone expected from the Seahawks with Big Russ coming back. And our final game here, we have the Chiefs now returning to form. They've rung off 3 in a row now, 3 wins in a row. To get to 6-4, they smashed the Raiders 41-14. Patrick Mahomes back to his old self, 35 for 50, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
That's a guy that can throw it 50 times.
Yeah, that's a guy who can throw it 50 times, and it makes a difference.
Anyone's going to do it. It should be him.
Yeah.
But I don't love him throwing 50 times, even if it's him.
I don't love it either. That means you've got your offensive lineman back there in we don't want to pass that 50 times a game. I can tell you that right now.
Not sustainable.
Not sustainable. And if you'd like to raise the chances of getting your ankles hurt or getting your back hurt, keep throwing it, because we can't block them perfect every time.
Yeah, that's a lot of attempts. They did go out and retool their offensive line in the offseason, so they obviously feel pretty good about what they get going on there. 11 carries from the running back. You're going to need more than that.
11 carries, 3 yards. Travis Kelce. I guess the way to say his last name is Kelce, not Kelsey.
Oh.
That's what he said. Yeah, I think he said the correct pronunciation is Travis Kelce.
Okay.
But you had guys getting, you had a lot of guys getting play out here and that's kind of what you want with the Chiefs, how they spread the ball around. Derek Carr was out there for he didn't have a terrible game per se, but you need more when you're going. You gotta think you need more when you go up against the Chiefs.
Yeah, you think you got to get points every time out there, and clearly that wasn't the case for these guys. 14 attempts for the whole team, 14 rushing attempts. Granted, they're trying to come back, so it's kind of hard to.
It got ugly quick
on the ball
on
them. When you're down that early, and that's just a recipe for pressure, sack, pressure, strip sack. All the bad fucking things that can happen. Not good.
Yeah, it definitely was not their day. And look, I don't think anybody's going to be. I don't even think Raider fans are going to be hugely disappointed with this, because this team's still got a winning record, and they've gone through a lot in the last month.
Considering their October, November,
considering their October surprises that they had.
Yeah, they got
the franchise that by all intents and purposes, we would have expected them to have already collapsed massively at this point, based on what they've been doing. So you can't get super mad at that. I do believe that they're going to find a way to they're going to patch up those positions that they lost with Henry Ruggs in his situation, and then the defensive back whose name escapes me at the moment.
Well, they went out and got Deshaun Jackson,
they got Deshaun Jackson.
He was Henry Ruggs before Henry Ruggs.
Make a big catch and then fumble on the same play.
Well, he is want to do bonehead shit after an amazing play.
He is known to do that. We can definitely confirm that with Deshaun Jackson, but that was a low light for him. But I think more than anything, this game was just to see if these Kansas City Chiefs were going to be able to put it together and be the team that we expect them to be. Because even with the last 2 wins that they got before this, they weren't very clean. They looked pretty ugly.
Yeah,
it didn't look like very good, like a very good team. But this one obviously changes that. They win the game big, 41-14, and that brings us to an end of our week in review. Now, with all that being said, we are going to turn to the fact that the Monday Night Football game going on right now, score-wise, has updated. The 49ers are beating the Rams 14-7. And that's going to bring our time here on Lineman Life Live to an end. Oh my God! Oh, sorry. That was just my that was ESPN playing in my ear again.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a big play. So I'm like, oh shit.
No. But that is going to be it for us here. We do appreciate everybody for being here on Lineman Life Live, Monday's edition. We will be back again on Wednesday for the Tier Maker live stream, and I'm hopefully going to have a special guest to join us on that as well. So make sure you have subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I do schedule that Wednesday stream. So for the linemen in the room, I am Uche Nwaneri. It's my boy Justin Blaylock. And we will catch you all on the next Lineman Life Live. Hope everyone has a wonderful Monday. And we will catch you all later.
Peace.
Peace.